You're not watching the Blair Witch Project, don't worry. But welcome to my channel. I'm Rob Hikes, and this is the Burroughs Mountain Loop here in Mount Rainier National Park. The sun is going to be, you see me? There you go. The sun's going to be coming up in the next couple of minutes, but I just wanted to get on the trail nice and early, so I promised the quality of the footage will improve. But yeah, I am here on the trail. I'll just show you another shot there of Mount Rainier peeking out. It's early August, and this is a 9.8 mile loop around the three boroughs next to Mount Rainier, and it should give me some excellent shots of the glaciers and the surrounding valleys. So the sun is finally starting to come up here in Mount Rainier. The mountain is well and truly out now, and I can start to see all the gorgeous wildflowers that are dotted all around this trail. So coming from the Sunrise trailhead and parking lot, you follow the trail down to the Sunrise Trail and the Wonderland Trail, and you just meander very gently downhill through some light forest with some very small alpine trees, and then these little meadows, just like the one behind me, which are dotted with wildflowers. And then I've actually just come to a junction here on the trail, so this is all very familiar. The Wonderland Trail actually goes down from here towards the White River, and that's where you'd go if you head into like Summerland or Indian Bar. But the Rim Trail, which is the trail that I've taken, continues onwards. The Wonderland Trail is now part of this. It wasn't on the previous section, but you can see the Burroughs Mountain Trail on there, and it's 0.8 miles to Sunrise Camp as well. So I'm half a mile in, and now continuing on. Oh, that mountain. So the hooves that I can see here on the trail are a little bit too big to be deer, but Mount Rainier is home to Roosevelt elk, and I have seen them in the past while I've been out on the trail, so it's very likely that maybe there was an elk here at some point. I don't know where he is now though. And there's just another shot with some of those gorgeous wildflowers. Just, I don't know if it's being picked up on the GoPro, but there's just purple specks all along the hillside. One of my favourite things is sometimes you can be in really dense forest or in tree cover, and then you come to these like meadows where it really opens up like this, and it's perfect for spotting wildlife. Now the GoPro is no way going to pick this up because it's way too far away, but along here you might be able to see like a straight line. Now that is the trail to Iceberg Lake and to Mount Fremont, and there is a mountain goat skipping his way literally on the trail. I can actually see like his shape as he's moving along there. Really cool. So I've just taken a slight detour to this lake because I've seen wildlife here in the past, so I just wanted to come over to see if I spot anything, but it looks pretty calm today. So I've just come to another trail junction, and just up here is the Sunrise Wilderness Camp, and I camped there when I was hiking the Wonderland Trail, and there was a cool Cascade fox who came and visited in the campsite while I was there. So that's a really nice memory, and it's a really nice place to camp because it's not too far away from the major like visitor centre and stuff, and the toilet and the snack bar. But it's nice that you're still enough away that you feel like you've got wildlife around you and it's really pretty and everything and quiet. If you are hiking this trail and nature calls, this is one of the wilderness toilets that you find on the Wonderland Trail. So it is just a literal shack with a pit toilet, but if you do need to go, it's private. It's got a whole shelter around it, where some of them don't, so that's a luxurious one when you're on the Wonderland Trail. So you can see the trail ahead of me now. I'm going to climb up through this section, and then I'm going to go along and up and then around here, and eventually I will climb and I will be over beyond that ridge that you can see up there. But it's a really peaceful morning. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's still quite fresh, like my hands are quite cold, but I have like a puffy vest on, and eventually I'll take that off because I'll get too warm. But I haven't seen a single other person on the trail so far, so yeah, feeling that. And I just realised this looks really dusty. Is that better? Sorry if it was a pain. I just realised. Yeah, not seen anybody, so long may that continue, because I do love a peaceful hike in this park. It's quite nice when you don't see anyone for a little while. But yeah, really enjoying the hike so far. The views are amazing. Up until this point it's definitely family friendly. It's pretty much downhill and all flat. But if I remember correctly, this section of the trail, there'll be an incline. Just looking back at the Sunrise Camp, just beyond the trees on that side. Hey, Mr. Chipmunk. Hey, bud. So that overlook offers such a good view of the mountain itself, but also down into the White River and of the glacier. I'm just going to pan around because here's another good one. I mean, you'll get a lot of this, but you can see where the ice turns, the glacier starts to reveal itself, and then obviously liquid drips out from this section into the river. And where you can see that dirty sort of section, see the ice goes into like a black sort of crevice, that is all part of the glacier. It's just where rocks, sand, stone are on top of the glacier, making it look dirty, but actually that is all ice. So it's really, really cool. Looking sort of east of the mountain, so we're actually on the north side of Mount Rainier, which is obviously just here. So the other side straight over would be where you'd find the Paradise area and the Skyline Loop Trail, etc. And this is looking east to eastern Washington and then over towards Idaho and Montana. And you can see there's rain falling and the skies are pretty stormy, so I'm hoping that it'll stay clear here because I don't want to get caught in a storm. But right here the sky is perfectly clear up on the mountain, so it's pretty steep, this section, I'm not gonna lie. I actually kind of use the opportunity to film as an opportunity to pause and take a break as well. but it's not anything too strenuous and it doesn't go on for the whole time. And because you get such incredible views, I think it kind of justifies the hard work that you put into the hike. So I've seen a chipmunk on the trail, saw a mountain goat off in the distance. I'm really hoping I see some more wildlife as I get higher. But at this point I kind of leave the tree line behind me, and all of a sudden it does get a bit breezy. So layers are definitely good, but equally when that sun is up it's going to be hot. So sunscreen, a hat, sunglasses, and I actually wore a long sleeve t-shirt today because my arms are kind of burnt because I've done a lot of hiking in the high country this summer, and my arms actually peeled the other day, and I thought, you know what, I don't need a tan. But yeah, look at this section. It's 180 of the trail. So the White River goes all the way through here. The sun is desperately trying to rise on the other side of sunrise, and just in this section here is where that sunrise visitor centre and everything is, and then obviously the trail up. That's the Sourdough Ridge trail, by the way. I don't think I gave you the name earlier, but this trail here, Sourdough Ridge. But upwards and onwards I go. Scary, so if you are a bit vertigo or have issues with heights, you might find this section of the trail just a little bit stressful, but just keep focusing on the gorgeous mountain. Again, this might be a little bit too far out, but look, there's a huge herd of mountain goats just up ahead. Some evidence that the mountain goats have scraped past these trees, and there they are, just up ahead. They've already seen me and they're moving pretty quick. So there's one, he just saw me, he's just there, and they're just gonna probably start moving quite quickly now to get away from me. This is a big herd. There must be at least 2 dozen. There must be at least a dozen actually. That's a good guy there. The sun has just peeked over and all the goats are walking into the sun. What a sight. So anyone who watches my channel regularly, and if you do, and you're not subscribed, please do subscribe, I really appreciate it. But I love hiking, I love the outdoors, I love the amazing views, you know, everything about all of that. But I think that if you were to say like what's the one major thing that's like a huge motivator, it's wildlife encounters. And I'm not, you know, picky. I love bears, are my favourite animal, and I always love to see bears, and I've been really lucky that last month I saw 5 bears, and I'm going to Yellowstone next month, so if I don't see any more till I go to Yellowstone, but then I want to see some, then it's cool. But I really value like any wildlife encounter, whether it's deer, elk, bighorn, and today to see mountain goats. Now I've seen mountain goats here in Rainier pretty much, I think every time I've been to sunrise I've seen a mountain goat in some capacity, but sometimes it can be 1 or it can be 2 or 3, but I've just seen like between 30 and 50 in one go, which just seemed crazy. So they're pretty far back now, so you can't really see them, but they're all just, the whole horizon is dotted in them. And I think if you come from the UK, you know, we're used to seeing sheep, right? Cows or whatever in the mountainous areas in like Wales and Cumbria, but they're different. These are mountain goats, these are a wild animal, they're not farmed, and they live up here in this like harsh environment. The babies are super cute, and yeah, I just feel like really super duper fortunate to just have that encounter and to see so many in one swoop. And whilst I haven't got any like incredible pictures, sometimes it's more about just being present in the moment and appreciating it for what it is. So yeah, that's my, you know, deep and meaningful comment of the video. Another note, the mountain is out, it's gorgeous, the sun is finally on it, and the trail is kind of illuminating now, which is really nice. So you can see where the trail's going, straight up. So after this trail junction, this is actually the second borough, sorry, or the third borough, I can't remember, but it's one of the boroughs. So you actually do this one and then you come back this way, and then I'll take the sunrise from the Sourdough Ridge. But here's just another vantage point, so you can actually see this is Iceberg Lake just here, and then there is the Mount Fremont Trail, and you can see the fire lookout just at the top there. And then in this valley, this long trail meanders around, and then there's a junction just with this body of water. As if you see this little sort of section here, there's some mountain goats down there as well. But at this junction, the trail splits off, so you can take the Northern Loop trail, and that's going to take you through Berkeley Park just here, and then out to Graham Park, which is way off in the distance there. Or you take the trail this way, and this will take you up to Skyscraper Pass, which is just this mountain just here, and that's the Wonderland Trail. So that's the way I came after I'd camped at Mystic Camp, and Mystic Camp is way off in this section here. So yeah, for now it's onwards and upwards up the borough, and you can just see that there's a group that I met earlier, and they're already way up ahead, so they're doing well. It's such a gorgeous morning up here. I'm literally living my best life. I consulted with my all trails, which I highly recommend you use on any hike, and this is the second borough that I'm approaching. So I kind of skipped the first borough because it's right there, it's on the other side of the sun, but I'm going to head back that way. So if you take the loop, the All Trails recommends that you start and head down the Sunrise Rim Trail first. I'm not sure why, but it does look like it gets the more uphill sections out of the way first, which I think is a good idea, because when you're hiking, you don't want to be hiking the hard bit right at the end. But as you can see, it's completely exposed now, way above the tree line. So unless you fancy rain or something, definitely make sure you've got the right stuff for the weather conditions which you're hiking in. But yeah, this is so you come around, up, borough 2, borough 3, back the way you came, and then you take the Sourdough Ridge, and that's what makes it a loop. But I put my All Trails map up at the end of the video so you can see for yourselves. This trail just wanders up on the scree with just very few plants. Fighting to survive up in this harsh environment. One of the mountain peaks. I'm not sure which volcano that is, but there's one there. I have to get my bearings. I think that might be Mount Adams, but I might be wrong. And there it is, the third burrow. It's a hell of a way. One more mile straight up, and there's the majestic Rainier. I've got my mouth super close to the camera so that the audio gets picked up, but I'm just on the other side. This is the second burrow and I'm just hiking down now from it, and right up ahead you can see this flat section. This is Grand Park, so after Berkeley Park you hike up to Grand Park, which is really good for spotting elk, sometimes bear, though not all the time. And you can see the trail. Just here it's very exposed, just one big barren hill basically. And again I can see sections of the Wonderland Trail just up ahead as well, which is so nice to see. I always love to look back and I can see the trail, the exact place. I had a picture which was my profile picture actually for a long time, and you can just see, one thing I just love about Washington is just the endless layers of the peaks. They just go on and on. It's so gorgeous. So I'm getting closer to this end of the descent and the start of the climb up this burrow, which looks absolutely huge. Yeah, this is going to bite my ass I think, but there we go. End of the descent, and then that'll be the beginning of the climb up to the third burrow, and I'm not going to lie, it looks so intimidating. It looks really big, so I'm giving you an honest opinion if I think it's worth it or not. I love to hike where there's amazing views, so it's all good, but it looks very exposed, so yeah, we'll see what my verdict is. But what I really like is all this area back here. It's just so familiar from my time in Wonderland, and yeah, it's so funny how just like looking at just some little peaks and things like that brings back so many memories of that trail. And you know, it was definitely a tough trail. I had my ups and downs. Like I found it really hard, but it was amazing, and I've got such like cherished memories of it. So yeah, it's nice to be back here and appreciating it. But yeah, remind me I said that when to tackle this section. Wow. So that group that overtook me, they're miles ahead of me now. They're like machines. But we've got a little trail junction, I guess, or some kind of sign. But you can't really miss it because there's nothing else around, so you know the trail's so obvious. It's just up, up, up. Ah, so here's a trail sign. Ah, so Glacier Basin is down this way. And then this, oh hello, savage. This is a leg day, I can tell you that for nothing. What's really cool is the mountain's almost hidden, but for that little icy, snowy cap. Wow, views for days. But I think I'm on final stretch and I can see the glacier. So I actually crossed the river that's formed by this glacier back on the Wonderland Trail a while ago. Really cool. I'm a bit lost as to where the trail is here. It's a bit of a scramble. Yay. Finally. So this whole thing is the glacier. It's absolutely amazing. Wow. There she is. Now, according to my all trails, there's just a little ways to go. So I'm guessing it's just a light walk along this lovely ridge. Here I am on the third borough, glancing down at this incredible view of the northern section of the incredible Mount Rainier. The Trident is on that way, but I'm not going to have time for that unfortunately today. But I came all the way, that's the second borough just in front, so I've come all the way down into the valley and then back out. I'm going to go and do it all again. It's absolutely incredible up here and it is worth it. I'll give you the full disclosure. It's hard. Oh God, I'm gonna fall. It's hard, but it is worth it. And I think when you do these kind of hikes, you have to kind of be a bit, you know, aware of the fact that you are going to be pushing your body. You know, the whole point of a hike is that you're not just a walk, you know. But when you get these views, and honestly just the endless ridges, and then there's another layer, and then another layer, and another layer in the distance, that's worth it. you can see the White River as you just pan around. So the White River is just here. I came from the other side of that ridge, and then obviously you can see all the mountains to the east of Rainier. Then looking north into the backcountry where the Wonderland Trail and the Northern Loop are. You can obviously see down to Berkeley Park down there. You can see the tiny little Mount Fremont watchtower just there, and then obviously the major view is the mountain just here. So I hope you've enjoyed the video so far. Please do hit the like and subscribe button. I'm going to stop for a little snack now, and then I'm going to head back and I'll show you the first borough and the Sourdough Ridge Trail, which is on the other section of the trail that I'll be taking. So I almost forgot to tell you how long it actually took me. So it took me 2 hours 30 minutes from the trailhead at sunrise to being at the top of the third borough. So this is technically half of the hike. Obviously, you know, I've done the main bit, the peak bit, and now it's downhill. But because I'm doing it as a loop, and I'm going to go to the first borough and the Sourdough Ridge Trail, that actually is a little bit longer than taking the Sunrise Rim Trail, which is just downhill all the way. So just bear in mind that while this will probably take me another 2.5 hours to get back, you could probably get back in 2 hours if you took the way you came. But obviously, I mean, hike your own hike, but I like a loop. I like to see something different, rather than retracing the steps, personally. But again, hike your own hike. Do what works for you. But apart from the group that overtook me, and they were also at the top when I was up there, I've left just ahead of them, so they may overtake me again. But I haven't seen anybody else, and it doesn't look like there's anybody else on the trail at the moment. But yeah, it's just so gorgeous. I know I'm doing a lot of filming on this for, you know, quite a short hike, but it's just too beautiful. I mean, look at that, it's insane. Okay, so I can't believe I'm actually including this in the vlog. I feel like such an idiot, but I just fell over and I've really hurt myself. So I don't know what happened, but I was walking and then I felt myself slip, but rather than where I normally just stop, I just fell over, like forward facing, fell over onto the floor, and like I've cut my hand, I've cut my knee, I've cut my elbow. I don't have any plasters with me, which is so stupid because in my Osprey backpack I always had a pack of bandages and a pack of band-aids, but in this new Gregory I haven't quite got round to putting like a little first aid kit in there. So yeah, it's fine. I mean, I'm not in any pain or anything, but I've just got like blood on my top and I've got a hole now in the sleeve, and I really like this t-shirt. I'm gutted, but I was probably rushing, I was probably going too quick and not paying attention to where I was going. So yeah, just be careful. There's a lot of scree, a lot of loose rocks, a lot of sand, so it is quite easy to lose your footing. But yeah, don't be me. But I'm only saying this because I don't want people to, if you see any videos like this blood on my leg and stuff, I just wanted to explain as to why it was. But yeah, be careful. So I'm kind of over my fall now. It was very dramatic, but yeah, it's so funny because I've only ever fallen really twice hiking. Apart from today, it was when I did the Wonderland Trail and I fell off a bridge into a river. So yeah, it seems like me and Mount Rainier, I seem to go a bit lightheaded, I guess. But I've just come off of the top. This is behind me here. This is the second borough. Obviously the mountain's behind me, and I'm just descending back now to that trail junction I showed you when I turned off to do the second borough and third. And looking ahead, you can see the trail. There's a long line along here, and this is where I came from, but I'm going to take the trail that way over, and that green plateau there is the first burrow, and I'm going to go over and down that, and I can already see lots of white specks on the mountain. I don't know if the GoPro is going to pick it up, but that is that herd, or at least part of that herd of mountain goats. So they're all up there, so I'm probably going to get another chance to look at them on the other way, unless they move, because they move pretty quick. And you can see Frozen Lake dead center there in the middle, and I'm just taking my time as I hike downhill on this screen. You can see how it is easy to slip. It's a very loose rock, lots of little stones that are really easy to slide over, and today I've worn different shoes. So normally I'm a pretty die-hard hiking boots guy, and I've got a pair of Moabs that I always wear, and they're really reliable, but they take up a lot of space in my case, and when I'm only doing short little days like this where I'm not camping and I don't need so much equipment, I thought maybe some like tennis shoes, and I thought maybe I'll get some trail runners. So I got them actually in the UK. They're Nike Juniper Trail 2, I think was the brand, and I got them at ASOS for £50, which is about $65. And they're really, you know, they look nice. They're kind of comfy. They certainly don't have like the bulk of hiking boots, and there is grip on the bottom, but clearly not, you know, that much. And I think they're good for like short hikes, little day hikes where I'm not going too far and I don't need, you know, too much traction. Maybe even in the forest they'd be okay, but actually for all this scree I think I should have probably worn hiking boots. But hey, I'm still surviving, I'm still slaying. So yeah, but you can see the mountain just here, a lot more people on the trail now, and then looking down into the valley and over to the first burrow. You can already see quite a few people on the hiking trail, so I'm definitely going to bump into some people very shortly, but I'm going to put the GoPro down now so I can focus on where I'm putting my feet. So back to, that's the way I came from sunrise this morning, and now I'm going to go to sunrise, 2.2 miles on the Burroughs Mountains trail, which is just this way. Too far in their distance, but there's a big herd of goats. I still don't think that's as many as I saw this morning, but it's really cool that they're there. And this is actually just coming up to the top of the first burrow. You can see this straggly peak right up there is actually the top of the third burrow, so that just gives you an indication of how far up. It's 2 miles from, about 2.5 miles from here, so it's a fair way. I didn't get to see the goats up close, but there was a family up there and they said that they were really close to the trail, but they'd just gone off. But I'm glad I got to see them this morning, and I could still see them from the distance. And now I'm heading down to the Frozen Lake Trail Junction and then Sourdough Ridge. That's going to lead down to the Northern Loop and to the Wonderland Trail. And my trail is going to go uphill a little bit, which is fine, but the junction's just here, and then it goes along and then up and then down. Hey, Mr. Squirrel. You're good. So the wildflowers are really popping now, colour-wise. The colours are gorgeous on the wildflowers. And I'm just on the Sourdough Ridge trail, heading back to Sunrise now. And you can see here is the lake that I showed you this morning. Sunrise Camp is just in this section here. And then this is the Wonderland Trail just going down here, and that takes people down to the Sunrise Camp from the frozen lake trailhead. It's gorgeous. Nice and quiet as well on the trail. So I just saw 2 more mountain goats. I'm just looking down into one of the ravines off the side of the trail, and I've seen goats in that area in the past, so I think if you really are determined that you really want to see one, I think looking at any sort of meadow or ridge where there's an opening, have a look down, and you won't miss them if they're there, because they're quite big, and because they're white they really stand out against the green of the grass and the trees. But yeah, I'm just on the final stretch now, back to Sunrise. You just see the visitor centre down there. Now I hiked all through this forest this morning, and you can see the trail that goes up along there, and that was the viewpoint. Gorgeous. Heading back now. There was another viewpoint where there was a volunteer showing people some goats way down below, and I really like that they do that here. I noticed when I did the Wonderland Trail last year and I needed help with one of the permits, the nights on my permit, there was these volunteer rangers, and they could radio and they made the changes that I needed and stuff, so they really work hard in this park, and you really notice them when you're out and about on the trail, so thank you to them for everything that they do.